Some people will drain everything you have, your time, your energy, your money, your peace, and they'll do it with a smile on their face. Machiavelli saw this clearly 500 years ago, and what he wrote about it is still brutally true today. There are 6 types of people you should never help, not because you're selfish, but because helping them will destroy you. Welcome back. Today we're going into some of the coldest and most honest advice ever written. Machiavelli didn't care about being liked. He cared about being liked. He cared about truth. And the truth is this: not everyone deserves your help. Not everyone is worth your investment. And learning to tell the difference is one of the most important skills you will ever develop. So let's get into it. 6 types of people Machiavelli warns you to never help. Stay until the end. Because number 6 is the one that catches almost everyone off guard. Type number 1, the person who never helps themselves. This one is uncomfortable because we're taught that helping others is always good, that giving is noble, that showing up for people is the right thing to do. And sometimes it is. But Machiavelli understood something deeper. You cannot want something for someone more than they want it for themselves. When you do, you become their substitute engine. You push, you plan, you sacrifice, and they coast. They don't grow because they don't have to. You're doing all the growing for them. Here's the pattern you've probably seen. You give advice, they nod. Nothing changes. You help them again. Same result. You give more, they take more. And somewhere along the way, you started carrying their life on your shoulders. Machiavelli's rule was simple. A prince who builds his power on borrowed strength has no real power at all. The same applies to the person who borrows your effort. They build nothing real, and you lose everything you gave. Stop pushing people uphill who refuse to walk. Type number 2, the ungrateful person. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a signal. It tells you how someone values what you give. And when that signal is missing, it's telling you something important. Machiavelli wrote that men forget the death of their father more easily than the loss of their inheritance. In other words, people remember what benefits them and forget what costs them nothing. When someone receives your help and feels nothing, shows nothing, acknowledges nothing, that is not an accident. That is character, and character doesn't change because you give more. Here's the dangerous trap. Most generous people respond to ingratitude by giving harder. They think, maybe I didn't do enough. Maybe if I give more, they'll finally appreciate it. They won't. Ingratitude is not a gap in your giving. It's a gap in their character, and no amount of your sacrifice will fill it. Let me ask you something right now. Is there someone in your life you keep giving to who never seems to notice? Drop a comment below. You don't have to name them. Just say yes, because I promise you, you are not alone in this. And if this is already hitting home, hit that like button right now. Type number 3, the person who uses your help as a weapon against you. This one is darker, and it's more common than people want to admit. You help someone, and later they use that help to control you. They remind you of what they did for you. They keep a mental ledger, and every time you try to set a boundary, every time you try to say no, they pull out the receipt. After everything I've done for you, I was there when nobody else was. You owe me. Machiavelli called this transactional generosity, and he considered it one of the most dangerous traps a leader could fall into. When someone helps you only to own you later, that was never help. That was an investment in your debt, and the interest rate is your freedom. Recognize the people who give with strings attached, because those strings become chains, and the longer you accept the help, the tighter those chains get. Type number 4, the chronic victim. Now listen carefully here, because I'm not talking about people who have genuinely been through hard times. Real pain is real. Real struggle deserves real compassion. I'm talking about something different. I'm talking about the person whose entire identity is built around suffering, for whom every situation becomes a disaster, for whom every conversation becomes a crisis. for whom help is never enough, because the helplessness is the point. Machiavelli understood that some people use weakness as a strategy, consciously or not. Vulnerability becomes leverage. Suffering becomes a way to command attention, resources, and loyalty. And the person helping them gets trapped in a cycle that never ends. You solve one crisis and another appears immediately. You calm one storm and a new one forms overnight. Because if everything gets better, they lose their power over you. Here's the hard truth. Some people don't want solutions. They want witnesses to their suffering. And if you keep showing up as the witness, you become part of the story they're telling. A story that never gets better, because it was never meant to. We're halfway through, and I want to make sure you're subscribed before we go further. Because what's coming in the next two types is where things get really uncomfortable. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you never miss content like this. Type number 5, the person who resents your success. This one is subtle, and it's painful because these people are often close to you. Friends, family, people you've known for years. They come to you when they need something. They accept your help. They smile and thank you. But underneath, there is a quiet resentment building, because your ability to help them reminds them of where they are. Your success becomes a mirror they don't want to look into, and over time, that resentment turns into something ugly. They start to minimize your achievements. They make small cutting remarks disguised as jokes. They pull away when things go well for you, and come running back when they need something again. Machiavelli warned against surrounding yourself with people who secretly wish for your fall, because they will smile at your table and celebrate your failure in private. When you help someone who resents you, you are funding your own enemy. You are giving resources to someone who would rather see you fail. And no loyalty, no generosity, no level of kindness will ever turn that resentment into genuine support. Some people simply cannot celebrate you, and continuing to help them will not change that. It will only deepen their resentment and your confusion about why nothing ever improves. Type number 6, the final type. The one Machiavelli considered the most dangerous of all. The person who mistakes your kindness for weakness. This is the one that catches everyone, especially good people, especially generous people, because good people assume that how they treat others is how others see them. They think kindness signals strength of character. They think generosity signals confidence. They think helping others signals leadership, and sometimes it does. But to certain types of people, kindness signals something else entirely. It signals softness. It signals someone who can be pushed, someone who will keep giving even when they shouldn't, someone whose boundaries are negotiable, someone who can be taken advantage of. And the more you give to this type of person, the less they respect you. The more you bend, the less they fear losing you. The more available you make yourself, the less valuable you become. Machiavelli wrote that it is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Now, I'm not saying go make people fear you. That's not the point. The point is this: respect must come first. And respect is not earned by endless giving. It is earned by having limits, by being willing to walk away, by valuing yourself enough to stop when the giving stops being mutual. The moment someone sees that you will help, regardless of how they treat you, you stop being a person to them. You become a resource, and resources get used until they run out. Don't run yourself out for someone who sees you as a tool. Let's bring all 6 together. The 6 types of people Machiavelli warns you never to help. 1. The person who won't help themselves. You can't want their growth more than they do. 2. The ungrateful person. Ingratitude is character, not circumstance. 3. The person who weaponizes your help. Strings attached means chains attached. 4. The chronic victim. Some people need the crisis more than the solution. 5. The person who resents your success. You cannot buy loyalty from someone who envies you. 6. The person who mistakes kindness for weakness. Respect yourself enough to have limits. Here's the final truth I want to leave you with. Protecting your energy is not selfishness. Protecting your resources is not cruelty. Knowing who deserves your help is wisdom, and wisdom is exactly what Machiavelli was trying to teach. Not how to be cold, not how to be calculating, but how to see people clearly, how to stop being surprised when users use you, how to stop being hurt when takers take, how to build a life where your generosity goes to people who will actually grow from it, people who are worth it, people who appreciate it, people who give back, because those people exist. And the sooner you stop wasting yourself on the 6 types we talked about today, the sooner you find them. Which of these 6 types have you encountered in your own life? Tell me in the comments. Which one cost you the most? I want to know, because this community is full of people who have been here, and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Thank you so much for watching. This was a heavy one, and the fact that you stayed until the end tells me you take your life seriously. You take your energy seriously. And that matters. If you want to keep going deeper on Machiavellian strategy and psychology, the next video is right there. Watch it now. I think you already know you need to subscribe if you haven't yet. New videos every week, and I will see you in the next one.